Hello, everybody. It's me, it's IHateWill. How y'all doing today? I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. What you are looking at behind me is a chicken farm that a crazy person would make. What are you doing down there, guy? You gonna get stuck up there, I think. Anyway, this is the chicken farm that I made. It's kind of efficient. You know, you throw in, how many's in there? We got 17 different chickens in there. They lay their eggs. Those eggs drop into this hopper system, and I catch them. Originally, I had some dispensers underneath, and they're shooting eggs out, but I just couldn't quite get the automated dispensers going right. I managed to get a pulse system working, but I didn't really like how it functioned. So I'm going to have to quit this for now, because it's driving me nuts. Through here, something else a crazy person has in his basement. 62 pumpkins, 62 melons, and 124 cocoa pods. 'Cause we crazy. We crazy. Weird things happening, like this keeps drying up. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure that's far away enough, or close enough to where it doesn't happen. It happens there too. I don't know if that's part of the new entity disappearing bug that's going on, but it's affected other parts of our server as well. Stephanie bussed a villager over to her office and turned her into a receptionist. Or him. Well, her, right? She called her Mrs. France or something. Mrs. French. So it was a girl. So she bussed her over there, and that zombie that villager disappeared. Was not killed by zombies because our door was still there, and I was nearby. So I didn't see a zombie go in. Our door is intact, so I don't think that was the issue. I'll grab this and that. And over at my villager farm, 2 of those villagers disappeared. The blacksmith and one of the farmers disappeared. So we're stuck with 1, and then the guy on top. So I guess we have 2 now. But still, that's a huge pain in my balls, you know? So to get over that, what we are going to do today, and I will drop this comparator off, because obviously I'm not worthy enough to have you. Let's go ahead and do we have chicken? We have chicken. Drop this off. We'll take chicken. We do not need anything else. So we will take this. Put that there. I would like a silk touch, please. Thank you. We will leave Silky here. Silky is too important. And, oh, bucket. Bucket of water. It's always good to have when you go out exploring. So today what we are going to do is we're going to go exploring. And as we explore, I'm going to tell you guys a story, a real life story, this is 100% true, of something that happened to me back when I was a bit younger. It involves a stripper / porn star / prostitute. It involves underage drinking. It involves public urination. And yeah, so if you are a person with a sensitive ear, sensitive mind, maybe you're young. No, I won't tell on you if you listen. If you are one of those folks, I'm going to have to ask you to please shut off this video now. Because I'm going to say a few things that you might find detestable. Now, I used to write for this show called the Pugs and Kelly Show. Alright? And the Pugs and Kelly Show was a talk radio show of the same ilk as Howard Stern, Opie and Anthony. Those were the other shows that were on the station at the time. We picked up in syndication was Stern, Opie and Anthony. I think Tom Likas was there at the time too. This is a show in Dallas, by the way. This is a radio show in Dallas, and Pugs and Kelly used to host this event called Dodgeball, They've been hosting it for years by the time I got involved with them, and they started it way before the movie came out. It was just a fun drinking activity, after work social event that people attended, and it started when I got involved. It blew up, not because of me. That's just a coincidence that at the same time that I started with them, dodgeball exploded. I mean, we're talking 300 people in one night at a tiny bar in North Dallas. It was crazy, crazy popular. So I was underage at the time, but I was allowed in. And this bar is closed, so I don't care. They closed this bar down a long time ago. So it's no big deal if I talk about this. But I was underage, and I was allowed in because of my association with the show. I think they made up some weird title and why I was important to be there, and everybody just went with it, like, fine. So I was underage. I was drinking a lot, like no. Once you're in, you're in, you know, and nobody's gonna like tell on you. Everybody knew I wasn't of age, you know. TABC in Texas, is a big deal. I mean, they don't play around, but I was just I was in. We can put it like that. Nobody was checking my ID. Nobody was second guessing me. Nobody was going to do that because I was with the right people. We'll put it like that. All right. The people I was with made the bar a lot of money. I helped make the show, the station, and the bar money with my own writing and promotions that I did for the show. It was a huge money-making event. Nobody was going to take night drinking away from me because, I mean, that was part of it, right? But, let's see. God, look at this place. This place is great. So, one night, and I think this was my first year here because I was still underage at the time. One night, I had been drinking a little bit. Oh, by the way, like, $4 top shelf, you call it, whatever you wanted. So, oh no, it's $3. $3. And if you're a cost-effective guy like me, you know that the thing with the most alcohol in it, you get for $3, will be a Long Island iced tea. Bit of a girly drink, I admit. Kind of tastes like lemonade, but it's lemonade that gets you really drunk. Because it's got, like, I don't know how many different alcohols in it. It's way too many to be legally sold, I believe. Ooh, cave. Let's go in there. Well, anyway, I was drinking my Long Island iced teas. Though it may have been vodka, it may have been Grey Goose and tonic at the time. A bit hoity-toity. I was drunk, and I have this bad habit of completely emptying out my pockets whenever I sit down anywhere. Like my wallet, my keys, my phone, everything goes on a table, and I just walk off. I mean, I put it there, and I also have a tendency to walk off and leave all my things there, and so I put down everything in my pocket. I picked up my wallet, picked up my phone when I was done. I always carried a notepad with me back then, so I had my notepad too. But I did not pick up my keys, and I didn't realize this until 1 o'clock in the morning. Still drunk. I've been there since 5, I think. So, what is that? 8 hours later, still super drunk. 1 a.m. trying to find my keys. All right, and everybody I knew was gone because everybody was on their way out, and that's why I was gathering my keys. So everybody I knew was gone, right? And at the time, I had a spare key back at my house, right? But I lived in Southwest Fort Worth, and I was in Addison, which is northeast Dallas. Okay, and that is roughly, I think, 60 miles. I think that's about 60 miles, just from the pure location of it. I could be wrong, but we didn't have a tollway back then, so it was a huge pain in the balls to get back and forth. I think this is a good area right here. Yeah, this is a good area. Let's check this area out. If there's not a cave, we will make a cave. So I was in a bit of a pickle. Okay, I had no way to get home to get my spare key. None of the bartenders had my keys that I knew of. I was asking around. Nobody has seen them. I think somebody just swiped them. No big deal, right? These things happen. But lo and behold, this lady walks by, and she's like, Will, what's wrong? And I explain my situation, and she goes, I'll take you home. And I was like, are you sure this isn't Fort Worth? This is not, like, really close. This is really far away. She's like, please. And so I go, all right, no problem. And this girl knew who I was. I had no idea who it was, honestly. I still not totally sure who this person was. But she was friends with, what do we call this? Because he does not in this business anymore. But she was friends with a porn producer? Is the correct, I mean, that's the accurate term. That's what he is, or was. But that's who she was friends with, right? And that's the name she dropped. It's like, oh, is around? Oh shit. Will, cut that part out. Is blank around? And I said no. He left quite a while ago. This particular person's always in bed by 8. He's just one of those guys. Wakes up really early in the morning, goes to bed really late. I mean, really early. So, she decides she's going to drive me the 60 miles to pick up my car, or pick up my keys, and then drive me the 60 miles back. And I double-checked to make sure that was okay, because I was prepared to drop however many hundreds of dollars it would have been to take a cab. But I was really broke at the time, so I was so happy that this person was going to inconvenience themselves enough. Now, I didn't realize this at the time, but as she was talking to me, she had, both her hands had a whiskey sour in them. Alright? So, she had been drinking, and then before we go, she goes, hold on, I need one more drink. So she orders another one. So she at least has 3 whiskey sours in her, okay? And then right after she finishes the 3rd drink, she goes, hold on, I have to go to the bathroom. So she goes to the bathroom, right? And I was a young person, but I was savvy enough, and I had been around certain industries enough to know when something isn't quite right. Alright? And, I would say I have a nose for drug use. So she comes out of the bathroom. She's sniveling. She's got a new boost of energy. She's kind of chipper. She's happy. She's going. And, she's like, alright, where are we going? And she wipes her nose and, and obviously, she's under the influence of cocaine, and I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with Dallas, Texas, but let me tell you something about Dallas. It's got a lot of friggin' cocaine. It's got so much fucking cocaine, it's ridiculous. It's like, I had friends that came from Chicago. I mean, a lot of the people associated with the show were Chicagoans before. That's where the show was before it came to Dallas. Oh, that was dangerous. Cover that up. You. Back off. So, yeah, they came from Chicago, and they thought, their city is filled with, in comparison to, the Bible Belt, which is where Texas is, they thought that their cities were, by far more involved in illicit drug use. By far. And they got here and they're like, oh my god. There's cocaine everywhere. Everybody's on ecstasy. Everybody's... and that's just a hard drug. I mean, marijuana in Texas, it's like breathing air. It's at least in the industries that we all worked in, it's like nothing. It's like you're just having a cup of coffee if you're smoking a joint. That's just how it is. But again, this is like in broadcasting and radio and entertainment, and a lot of our friends were stand-ups and rappers, so it's not like the normal everyday people. But a lot of the people we associated with also that did drugs, they like were contractors, they were doctors, they were lawyers, they were all kinds of folk, you know, and it's really interesting. Accountants, your accountant is doing a line in the bathroom. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Here, we go down. But so yeah, she was obviously under the influence of cocaine. Okay, and again, mind you, I didn't know who this person was. All right, and so I started talking to her just a little bit, just to see, okay, is this going to be a problem? Because I have a bit of an issue with people on coke. Not, you know, not to judge or anything. That's you're an adult. You do what you want to do. That's fine. I don't care really. But it's one of those things that make you move a little fast, you know. And I find the people to be a little bit on it, to be a bit too impulsive for my own taste, especially if you've been drinking. I mean, what the hell? But she started talking about how she was turning Johns at this strip club, and this strip club is that's the other thing about Dallas. Let me tell you another thing about Dallas, is that it is the Bible Belt, but we have a saying, for as many steeples, we have 2 strip clubs. We have steeples and strip clubs in Dallas. It's just the way it is. We have really good plastic surgeons that make really good fake breasts. We have a surplus of oil money, construction money, transportation money. So we have a lot of high rollers in these cities. Not to mention, you know, all the major sports teams and all that to go along with it. And as far as media is concerned, I mean, it's the 5th largest market in America. I think L.A., New York, Chicago, San Francisco are the only ones that are bigger as far as metropolitan media areas. You know, Dallas-Fort Worth is a huge place, and we have incredible strip clubs. I'm not a fan of strip clubs myself, but I have been to them because a lot of my friends were. A lot of business was conducted in them. But at this particular one that she worked at, that she said that she was at, is one known to have a VIP. Okay? It's the VIP's VIP. It's if you're a certain group of people or a certain type of person, you go into a back room. You pay, I mean, the prices are set between the performer and the performee, the person getting performed on, and you can basically get whatever you want. Can we say it like that? All right. Lots of hand holding. We can call it that. Lots of blowing kisses. Mm-hmm. Yep. Just use your imagination, kids. So obviously she's a prostitute, is what I'm saying. And she'd also revealed to me that she had just shot a few scenes earlier that week for our friend. So she's also a porn actress. I wouldn't say porn star, because I didn't know who she was. And I had no idea who she was. And at that time, if you were in pornography and you were a name, I knew who you were. Right? At least I knew your name, I knew what you looked like. I would just know. Okay, I'm not gonna explain how. I would just know. I got big forearms. I would just know. So I didn't know who she was. So this is the person that's going to drive me, correct? All right. So we get in the car, right? She's sniffling. She's drunk. I'm sobering up. I'm starting to realize maybe this isn't okay. But, I mean, right before I left, I had that thought, like, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe this is the incorrect thing to do. Maybe this is how young Will dies. Maybe he gets into a car with a porn actress / prostitute that's been drinking and coking up, and she flips her Bronco. By the way, she drove a Bronco. Big ass SUV. Very old, very boxy, very loud Bronco. And very interesting. So she's driving me, right? And before I left, here's the thought that I had. This is dangerous. But this sounds like a story. This feels like something I could probably talk about later down the line. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And we're going to see how this goes. Right? And, so I went ahead and did it. And, this is what happened. We're driving through, right? And all things are going well. She's actually, honestly, a fantastic driver under the influence. Like, you shouldn't... That's not something you really should discover about yourself, but she had a talent for it, I will say. And, what's going on here? This is dangerous. We are in a dangerous spot. So she had a talent for it, right? And, along the way, she's telling me all about her childhood, and while it might be a stereotype that all strippers, prostitutes, porn actresses, and remember, she's all three, they might be damaged people, that might be an unfair generalization. But she's a damaged person, we'll say that. And I won't get into the details, because, you never know who might be listening, and that's not my story to tell. My story is just what I experienced. But some of her tales, some of her more not so painful tales were like growing up Jewish. She was Jewish. And in all like Protestant, Anglo-Saxon, Texas, Baptist area, which it can be interesting. I came from a really multicultural neighborhood, so we didn't really have that. There were plenty of Jewish people in my neighborhood growing up, and plenty of Muslims. I mean, everybody. Ooh, look what we found. Look at this, and everybody got along for the most part. Look at this. Look at this. We found something, didn't we? We did. We got a mineshaft, and it's ours. So, I'm taking this. This is mine. Shit. Wish I had shears. Forget it. Oh, that could have been bad. So she's telling me all these stories, and it just... Every one of them is just, like, jaw-droppingly amazing. And I wish I could tell them. I wish that, I could find her and get her permission to tell you some of these things. But, again, it's just not my story to tell. But what did happen was we were going to a gas station because she needed to relieve herself. She had drinking, again, at least 3 whiskey sours, but after I learned that she was dancing at the club and doing other things at the club, I also recognized the fact that she probably, most likely, drank quite a bit that night, because that's something that those girls like to do when they're on the clock. And so she had to relieve herself, so we pull into this really shady gas station. I'm not even sure. It wasn't even a gas station along the route that I go. We went into this neighborhood called Oak Cliff. And Oak Cliff, for those of you guys that don't know, Oak Cliff was actually the neighborhood that Lee Harvey Oswald walked around after he shot JFK. It is the home of Stevie Ray Vaughan, great Texas blues player, guitarist. And it is not a white neighborhood. It is anymore. Not that that makes it bad. What makes it bad is that at the time it was known for its high crime levels. So we're in this place. She's drunk. I am a minor. I'm also a little drunk. I'm not a minor. I'm just underage. We walk in there, right? And there are some thuggy folks outside. And they start catcalling her, and she doesn't much appreciate that. And to her credit, I expected a string of racist obscenities to come out, but just regular obscenities came out. So, you know, we walked out of that one without getting beaten up, so it's fine. And they seemed to respect the claws that she had, so that all worked out fine. But it did bring attention to who we were, and so for the remainder of the time there, they watched, and she gave them good reason to watch, because she walked in to pee. The owner of the store said that the restroom is only open to paying customers, and she had no interest in that. She did not like that rule, and so, oh, okay, hold on, little baby, back off. And this should stop you, right? Most certainly should. Alright. Yes, so many buckets. Alright. Let's head on out. We're gonna mark this. Hopefully I can get out without killing us, huh? So, she decides that she's just gonna stop right there. Pop a squat. Right in front of her car, right in front of the gas station, in front of all these thugs, and and that's what she does. She starts pissing right there. The owner of the store comes running out, and he's like, "What the hell you do?" He was Pakistani, I think. And she's like, "Becky, bitch, I'm pissing." She had this like real. She didn't speak like that. She was actually very educated. And I know, because she told me many times that she went to the best schools, but as soon as some hillbilly shit starts happening, some neckidism, we'll call it that, you know, some redneck stuff happens, her accent, her weird, like, it just became really, really, like, south of South Dallas accent, like East Texas hillbilly FU kind of stuff. And like, if you guys are familiar with King of the Hill, a lot of the accents on there are not exaggerated. Those are pretty accurate accents for some of the outlying areas around Texas. Your places, you know, on the outskirts of the city, because, you know, in Texas we have very modern cities, and a lot of them are very progressive in their thoughts and their beliefs. But like I always say, that for every 10 miles outside of a major city in Texas, subtract 20 years. All right, and that's the mentality of the people there. So 10 miles out of Dallas, 1980. 10 miles away from that, 1960. And it don't take long until, you know, it's 1880. And everybody's saying the N-word, and everybody's complaining about this or that, or there are people plotting to leave the United States. There are people like, it's just like, that's how it is. And I'm sure it's like that in a lot of places in the country, but this is my experience in this state. But that was the kind of accent that came out of her, and I don't know. I just found it. I can be a dirtbag from time to time, sure, but I'm not a guy that I won't piss in public. You know, I won't make a scene. I don't actively pursue conflict. I'm a pacifist. I mean, I'm a vegetarian, for Christ's sake. You know, I just don't get down with that kind of stuff. Very passive kind of guy, is because why do you have to live like that, right? And so it was so just out of my realm to have that going on, you know. Interesting night, and there were lots of interesting nights back then. She got my keys, and I didn't do anything with her. I mean, that's not that, and nor did she invite me to do anything with her. And if she did, I mean, I probably would have. I was, you know, well, human, but I don't need no pumpkin seed, melon seeds. You know what I got? I got melon farm, fool. So it's just, to me, it's not so much where the story goes, it's how it was formed, you know, this person. And she knew me by name. She said that the reason why she would do this is because any one of us, and she said like the entire group of people that were involved heavily with not only the show but the scene back there, they would all do it for her. And that's not true at all, because I didn't know who you were, and and some of the other people on there aren't as nice as me, so they like, I might consider it even if I don't know you. I'll ultimately probably say no, only because scary, right? But I know the rest of them would not even consider. I can tell you that. But it's something I don't regret doing. It was an interesting experience. Something I would never do again. Never have that opportunity to do again. And so now I have this story for the rest of my life. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I'm going to leave this place of death. It's not really panned out anything interesting other than, well, nothing really. You can give me anything. That's a spider spawner. We're going to leave that. But this is Will. I am signing off. Take care of yourself. I will be sharing more of these kinds of stories with you, because I got a lot of them. Ooh, zombie spawner. Let's clear this out first. Let's clear this out and then we'll sign off. How about that? Because you never know what you're going to find. You never know what you're going to find. I don't need cat. Take that, take that. Take this. I will take this. I'll take that, because why not? I do not need you. I'll take cat. What do you got? I will leave... I will leave this. I will take that. And might as well take that, and don't need anything else. So this is Will. I am signing off. Please, please, please take care of yourself. Do not get in cars with drunken prostitutes on cocaine. This is Will. I will catch you guys next time.